Okay, make sure I've got my sound turned up. Where is it? Okay, so hopefully you can all hear me. What I'm doing is I'm going to show you. This is a collage, okay? I'm showing this because I've been doing some work, artwork. So I will explain this in a moment. And then in October, I went to California and I went to visit somebody who's got a channel with Jungian work. His name is Skip. And what he did was he invited me, I'm looking for something I want to show you. He invited me to an event in Watsonville. And I went to this event, and in the event, we had to do some art. And there was an artist there who's in Aptos, California, called Colleen Kybert. And we did a collage. You see this, based on this, and the work of Carl Jung and the map of, our consciousness, not a map, but more of artwork. So you can check this out, but I'm going to explain it. So what we have is that we have the personal collage map, and then we have different sections. So in the middle would be the self, in below would be our fears, our action in life, our mission, our ideals, our dreams, and creative wellspring. And from this, we can begin to see, where we're stuck and where we want to go. Now, when we began this process, and when I did the collage that I've got below that I just showed you, we didn't know. I just cut out. I had magazines. I got some National Geographic. I bought a Vogue. I bought an Elle magazine and a few others, and Bazaar. And so I cut out pictures I liked. And then I was given a task to identify 4 different types of women. And we were talking about in a group work I was doing with Colleen. And in that, we then just take pictures, put them wherever we wish to put them, and then analyze what's on there. So it's a way of looking at the shadow and the unconscious. Colleen Kybert has a book here. It's called Art and Spirit, a memoir of, and it's Colleen Kybert, okay? It's a beautiful book. I highly recommend that you maybe get a copy. This I bought at the event, this little booklet. It was $10, and I got about 10 of them, and I've given a few to friends of mine. And in this book, you will be able to find this map that I just showed you here. I'm not going to flick through the book now because otherwise I might get a bit, lost and be fumbling around. So from this, we did the work on the women. I just have to lean over and get my collage. So this was to do with 4 different types of women, work of Tony Wolff, and you can see I've got different types of women here, and I've got red down here, and I've got a different woman here as well. So I've been asked, after she's seen the collage, she's asked me to progress this picture here, because this is our creative wellspring. So how do I take this into this area over here, which would be the active doing? Because often in life, what I found is that we can get very stuck. If we've had trauma particularly, a lot of it can live inside our bodies, it can live inside the psyche and the mind, in our dream state, in nightmares. So one way of working out things from the unconscious and our traumas and what we want in our lives, instead of remaining stuck, we can use creativity. And it's really important for us to be able to establish, we don't have to just do one, we can do several of these. We can do one a month if we want, or even more. And if you can see here, I've put whatever it takes. So there's a bloom, whatever it takes. There's a woman here with her arms open. There's another one who's using her voice. And that area would be expenditure. If you look here, expenditure of personal time. So this is what I'm looking to do. Expenditure of my personal time is to be out in the world. And Colleen pointed out to me that if you look at this woman here, who's in the area of dreams, imagination and possibilities and projections and the creative wellspring. So in this area here, there's another woman who's got her arms out, and Colleen picked up on that. And then where I brought it into color, you can see here that these women are in colour. She said, how do I bring this from black and white into colour? Which I did. And again, these women are out in the world and they're showing themselves. And then this was to do with Julian Assange, where he was, hopefully you can see it the right way around because I can't on the screen, but it says a world without journalism is a world without truth. So where we're shut down, you know, where the voice is shut down and then the holding up of the world. And then I have some things here. I could go on explaining this. I could talk about this collage for an hour. And the beauty of doing this work is that you can begin to figure out what is going on inwardly. And you can see here I've put the invitation at the top, and that would be my ideal spiritual values. And the self and the ego today, myself and my ego want to, again, I'm using hands and I'm going outward, you know, with those hands, they're going outward. So the theme was really interesting that I came to with this. And what I found was, you know, I sort of went into a very quiet space for a few years. That did show up in my astrology as well. I've had Saturn, Neptune, transit Neptune, conjunct my Saturn in my fourth house. And humanity is going into this in, I think, when it hits Aries, it's 2 years away. I haven't got the exact date in front of me, but the idea, you know, it's where we feel lost, that sense of loss. And I'm pleased that I've experienced it already in the internal turmoil of, you know, where am I going? What do I want? Because everything that I had previous to this aspect going on, I looked at things very differently, like, you know, what I wanted and what I thought was a value. My values have changed about what I wanted. You know, now I actually want more space for my soul. But clearly, when we're in a position of being an adult, we have to get resources to do what, you know, to be able to pay our way in life, and also then to do nice things like some traveling or whatever we want to do. And we can have a disbelief that we can do things, particularly if we've been in careers where, you know, we've been paying our bills and paying the mortgage or paying the rent and buying the food, and things have changed in society, and I'm sure we're all aware of that. Things have changed dramatically, and I don't think people, you know, I think people, you know, maybe that's a projection, that people want more quality time and more love in that. And I'm not talking about relationship, but, you know, the relationship in one-to-one. I'm talking about loving in the world and being loving and being community. And this is one way that you could get a group of people together and you could, you know, do collage work with them, you know, a group of women or, you know, a family. We could work together to be able to, you know, improve our lives and the psyche, which is the mind, soul, and the spirit, the body, the whole being, into something that is meaningful. Because I do know that social media, I stopped recently, which really pleased me. I used to get out of bed and turn on my computer and, you know, scroll, and I don't do that anymore. Now I'm like, it's not even mindfulness, it's more the fact that I don't want to do that anymore. I've noticed as well, which was very interesting, I've got an Instagram account because I've been looking at myself, how do I want to present myself in the world? And, you know, the need to, you know, make resources for myself in order to live. Then I trained in clinical hypnosis. So I'm now a hypnotherapist as well, which I can help people with things that they are looking to change, or stress and relaxation. And I'm also doing my art, and I'm writing a book on my childhood as well, which would be to help other people through a particular type of trauma, which I won't go into here. So it's a particular type that's very rife in society, and it needs to be addressed. And people are addressing it, but it's still one of those traumatic experiences that are still under the veil, still really not spoken about in families, and it's not okay. So what else can I tell you? So I'm going to be doing some art this evening myself, and I've also got a book called The Artist's Way by Julia, I don't want to get her name wrong, let me check my mobile. Cameron anyway, it's the surname is Cameron. Make sure my phone is not doing that. Julia Cameron, and it's a 12-week book. I've got it on Audible, but then I realised it was a course, so I got the book because you have to work through each week. And I'm on week 7, and that's definitely gone. I've got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 5 weeks left. It's definitely gone away to making me think a little bit, dig a little bit deeper about, what I want for myself. And it's important that time flies and we don't realize, just time can just be used in a way that brings things into our lives that, are creative and bring us joy, or things, or we're just, going by each day and not really taking the next step to whatever we want. The other thing I'll tell you as well that I did, and I did this in 2019, June 2019 until April 2021, I had no processed food sugar. I want to put it that way. So raw honey and fruits are great for us. Since what I've noticed in the last 4 weeks of not having a cake every night or something like that, I've noticed there's a shift in me. But what I've also noticed, sometimes there can feel like there's something that needs like a missing part, like of something that needs to be fulfilled. It's like an addiction. I used to drink alcohol. I'm 12 years without alcohol as of the 2nd of July. So that's another thing, it's very difficult to operate in the world without addictions for many people, because addictions of, alcohol and cakes, it's like, we're humans, so we want some feeling of like, joy. But how can we get that joy elsewhere? What else can fill that missing thing inside us that we can feel sometimes? It's a bit of a mix of what I've told you there, but hopefully it's been useful, and I will come back with more. But I would say I keep saying Gemini, I will say, I'll never end. The interesting thing is I've noticed my differences when I post a reel on Instagram. I come across maybe differently, or I'm seeing that in myself. There's a difference here and a difference there. So I'm sort of feeling my way through. It's like, what am I wanting to say? What do I want to blossom into? And I'm figuring it out. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back with more in the coming. I've done 2 in the last few days, YouTube, so who knows, maybe tomorrow. We'll wait and see. Catch you later.